Okay, great. So I have to ask this question. Back in one point in your life, you used to sell beer and guns both, which I think is hilarious. So I'm like, how did that come to pass?
Co-owned a bar in 2010 or 11, something like that, for a little over a year. And then, yeah, that was my brother-in-law and his two of his buddies. So we just ran a bar, which that was like, I guess, 10:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning, 7 days a week. And then after a while, I was like, I'm going back to filmmaking. I'm not going to keep doing this stuff. And then after that, then I was living in Philly making a film. And then went, and I was like, I kind of want to get something for fun, part-time. And I grew up hunting and, stuff like that. So I was like, I'm going to see if I could go and sell guns. So I went and worked for a storefront selling guns for a while, which that was pretty cool, but I lost a lot of faith in humanity at that one.
Oh boy, I bet.
I'd go into the range a lot of time. People would have their finger on the trigger, gun pointed at me. I'm like, all right, put it down. Do you realize what you're doing? Be easy. And I would have to, like, it was every day. Every day. One of the guys we worked with, he got his thumb shot off trying to clean someone else's gun. And I went in the next day and the ball's like pointing at me and pointed like to get in. I thought I was in trouble. He was like, Frayne shot his thumb off. Can you clean up the blood? I was like, oh, okay. That sounds...
Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun. Yeah, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you on your toes.
So before you talk about the film, I guess I want to ask about the other thing. You did a book for filmmakers and storytellers. Tell everybody a bit about that.
So it's I do all my own storyboard and shot list books. So I made a book that you can buy on Amazon of storyboard shot list, and it makes it easy. So I would print it for myself, like 11 by 17, and then I would do the drawings, bring them out on set, and my 6 and 7s that we're shooting on the train, our camera loader and camera assistant does a lot of film work on bigger films, like after our film, and was our camera operator for underwater photography for Ben Stiller for another picture he was doing. So he's really good, really knows his stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I do these drawings. He's like, yeah, it's great if they work on set, but typically they don't. And then it became like a Bible for everyone. I made copies, so they were going through, and he was like, these are invaluable. So I just made a book, and it breaks it down very easily. It's like $16 for the book, and you can just translate your script to the book. There's a hardcover and a softcover. And then for set work, I find it extremely helpful. Even my cinematographer, I'll sit and talk with them and say, hey, we want our shot, to go this way, and like maybe the person's here, camera's looking this way, spot's behind them, move, whatever. And I'll be like, oh, okay, I don't know if I see it that way, and I show them the drawings and I have to go through it. It makes my life a lot easier, because some people, the job of the director is, to explain your vision properly, and it makes it so much easier. I know a lot of people that do just shot lists, and they don't tend to really work for me as well. So.
Where do you find the book?
It's on Amazon. It's just called Storyboard /Shot List. And Shot List is one word, storyboard one word. And it's a white cover, simple, easy to use book. Unfortunately, Amazon can't print 11 by 17 yet, so they're 8.5 by 11 or something. But yeah, they're really helpful. I find them helpful. And then also, if you work with someone else in the same project, everyone can use the same books and be on the same page.
Ah, okay.
Which creates like some uniformity.
You bet.
Yeah.
6s and 7s, 14 minutes long, originally released in 2022. First question I have for you, the dedications to Conway, so why? Who is he?
So he was my grandfather, so on my dad's side, and he was a huge cowboy fan. So every time I'd see him, I'd bring him like some old cowboy books, and he just loved cowboy films. I kind of took a little bit of the love that he had for it, and his name is Conway Haymaker, which I always thought was a cool name, and it was kind of authentic to those times. So yeah, I dedicated it to him, and I made a film right before that called Memories, and I dedicated that to my mom because she passed like right before that. So kind of doing it for them, putting little pieces of them in the picture.
Yeah. One of the 5,000 things that I like so much about your film is that you do get a look not only at him, but you also, it's a very clean picture when it comes to the caregiver / the wife. You're seeing very, very clearly how she feels. You see the burden that she's carrying around with her. Tell me a bit about the actor who portrayed her, and moreover, it looks like she has sadly painful experience with this.
Yeah, so the actress is Elizabeth Ball, and she had some issues with it in her, like similar accounts in her family. I can't remember if it was her mom or dad, but she, yeah, I think for those two actors, playing someone getting into the age where they're getting closer to, she thought about it a lot and kind of how, like she has fears of it, because I guess it's somewhat in her family. So, and they're both spectacular actors. I mean, they've been acting, I think, on stage since they were like 18, 19 years old, both of them. So, which is also why I cast her, because she fit the role when she understood the character. Mm-hmm. And she understood the severity of it, and like screaming inside, you can't scream at him because he doesn't know any different. So how she was able to bottle up a lot of the emotions, I think were impressive, except for the conversation with her son, and she's like, everything's in boxes, like a whole life isn't, like, as long as he's happy, who cares?
Sure.
And that's how, I mean, I guess how she took that was really, I don't know, she played it very well, but I think she's also fearful of aging and
Aren't we all?
yeah, and
pretty much.
losing your faculties, I guess.
Sure. I'm a big sucker for storytelling because I'm a writer, so I always appreciate good writing. But the one that stood out most to me was, who am I when it's not me? So my question to you relative to that is he actually trying to understand, how much of that does he understand? Meaning, is he longing for the original me, or is he okay with figuring out who the new me is?
That question, he's kind of wondering, like, what parts of him, I guess, are still true him, like his kindness, his compassion for things, like how he holds himself. I mean, the night flyer incident with the gun in the hall is definitely not something that he would want to know about. She wouldn't tell him that. But, yeah, I mean, he's really just kind of wondering, is he still good to her, is what I guess he's seeking. And the thing is, like, with his, like, with dementia that this character had, is that over time, he would click on every now and then. As time goes by, it's less and less. So that likely would be the last time he clicks on. Mm-hmm. And then what happens to Chloe at the end is, leave that up to the audience if she's okay or if she's not okay. But if she's not okay, you probably have the new him, not who he ever once was.
Sure.
So I think it's interesting to leave the story at that, to where is it going to go. And, the son walk and talk outside with the mom, he was like, he's going to have to go, if anything happens to her, he'll have to go somewhere.
Right.
And he wouldn't have the means to come and take care because he has a family and a life. Which is kind of interesting as, parents take care of the kids and their babies, they get older, they go out, and the parents sometimes just go and maybe not receive all that same care.
Gotcha. Okay. So, if I were to ask you, if audience walk away today or the next time they see this film, what's the predominant theme around this? What's the one thing you want them to remember about sixes and sevens?
I'd say, really, I mean, it's kind of like on the art of comm life, for how he was and how he wanted to be, is the idea of it. To be, share what you love. He was sharing what he loved with my niece Sophia, the blonde-haired girl in the picture. But it's basically just share what you love to do, teach when you get the opportunity, and just try to be kind of the best you can be. That's kind of like the whole theme of it. And then also, I just think it's interesting if you did everything in your life as best as possible, and then it left you. It's just really, it's horrifying, really.
Oh yeah, it is.
So
tragic.
You got these both sides to it. Mm-hmm. Because it is kind of a horror picture it's not a horror picture, but in the end, it's a horrifying situation.
Absolutely.
To be left in.
Yes. So this is what I want to say to you, Brian. Thanks for making me cry. A lot of these films make me cry, so thank you for making me feel something. Thank you for making such a beautiful production. I wish that I could nominate you for all sorts of things, but I can't. For all of you that are in the audience, Ryan and I did a very elongated Q&A about this film, and I'll post it up so you can see the rest of it. But I'm just I'm so happy to hear you, and thank you for taking this trip.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad more people get the chance to see it.
This is awesome, right?
Yeah.
I think it's totally cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go back over there and I'll do back garden.
Sounds good.
Okay, back garden.